Well, what will I show you? I know. I've worked in restaurants a lot. And most of my time is spent in working restaurants during my formative years. And some of you have seen this little trick. Dr. Sawa from Japan came up with the bending spoon idea using a little gimmick, and it's beautiful. I fell in love with it. And I use it all the time in restaurants, all the time, over and over and over again. So now I'm going to show you, I did this for some people, and I've had a couple requests for me to do it again. And I'll just show you some misdirection. If you work in restaurants, it's a great opener to walk up to a table and you immediately identify yourself as a magician. So here's what you do. You walk up to the, put this here, so you can hear what I'm doing. You walk up to the restaurant. Maybe I'll just keep it in here, it's all right. You walk up and you pick up the spoon and you say, "Oh, may I use your spoon first?" You say. They say yes, and you pick it up and you say, "Have you ever seen the psychics that can look at an object and make it bend just by..." Ah! Oh, that happened. I'll fix it. Of course, I don't really bend it. It's simply an optical illusion. It looks like it's bending, but it's not really. It's an illusion. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I think I broke it. I'll fix it. Listen, if it falls apart again, let me know. Thank you so much. So that's a little thing. I mean, I'm very proud of the patter, actually. I wrote all that myself. No, but it's not. You pick up a spoon and you bend it. And it's funny, people don't know that spoons are easy to bend because they don't go around bending spoons. So it's a miracle when they see a spoon wound in half. So what I do is I just press it with my thumb. I have a callus the size of a silver dollar on my leg. Some of the hotels have the nicer stuff, and then I have to bend it on my leg. But you can just bend any spoon with just do it. Just don't be afraid to do it, that's all. People don't realize how easy it is, and it's done in an instant. And you only need an instant. You pick it up. There, they're looking at the spoon, the focus is there. Have you ever seen, and when I point to my head, they always look at my head. So I say, have you ever seen, that's what I do the boo, seen the psychics, and they train. Now for some people, they see it bent immediately. But if you're working for a couple people and you point it right at them, they don't see it bent, they see the spoon. And then you go, it's important, like that. And for a few people, maybe 20% of the viewing public actually see a spoon go like this. Right in front of you. And that's the people that you're doing it for. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I'll fix it. And you bend it back to straight. Now you do the old El Faco spoon bending thing. You've seen, and there's the gimmick, and that's just thumb clip during the first part. And you're just going to bend it forward. That's the one where you don't really bend it. You just sort of pretend to bend it like that. So you do that, and you let it snap back up and around, and it looks like spring steel. There's the second effect. You already done 2 tricks for them in the space of 2 seconds. So you have their attention, hopefully. And then you say, no, it's just and this is Dr. Sawa's move. It's really neat. You put the spoon in your hand, but look, the bowl goes behind, the index finger scissors away, the bowl goes behind the fingers, and then this finger wraps back around the bowl, so you're in this position. And then you have this sucker out here like that with your thumb covering it, so it looks okay. Now here's a little touch that I like. What I do is move this, but at the same time, look where my second finger is, you can move that. So you have the whole spoon moving as a unit, apparently, right before you bend it. So you do that a little bit, and that's very strong, helps to sell it. And then slowly, like Superman, I used to do it like this. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but you are obviously exposing the gimmick. They do see 2 separate pieces. It's okay, but I think it's stronger just to do this because when you hand the spoon back, they're not sure what they saw. And here's the final switch. Very pretty. Here's the way I do it. It's not hard, really. You just have to play with it. So this goes back to normal. Then I simply close those 3 fingers. Watch. I'll do it again. Watch from the left. That's all practice. There we go. Good. So I just close the fingers and twirl the spoon. All right? I'll just set that on the floor for a moment while we think about it. Let's all rehearse again for a second. Easily amused. Right? close the fingers, twirl the spoon, then you can turn it over and keep twirling it and set it back down, and it looks like almost a liquid mercury spoon. Any questions? Any applause? Oh. And now, here's another fun thing. This is just I like to play around with the magic tricks, and here's one, a little unique way of vanishing push the wand, push the handkerchief. I won't touch it with the human hand. Now when I wave the magic wand over the handkerchief, can you see it over here on the left and the right? It completely vanishes. No trouble. All right, here's the magic. You got a thumb tip. And you push the, you say, look, I won't even touch it with the human hand. You use the magic wand. And look at this. You use the wand like it's a thumb. You wedge it in there so that stays on. The wand, like that. Now, as you turn the hand over to poke it on the other side, you just steal it out the back like that. Because you're poke, 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 and it's over here. See, so you haven't touched it, but you poke, 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 and there you are. Now, you can put this under your arm. It's gone. Look at that. Nothing in the hands. Take it back in your hand. Snap your fingers, wave the wand, and it comes back. Very simple to do it that way. Or you go pokey, pokey, cheaty. Then you put it into the pocket. This way you wipe it out and do this. And that's all done with a little body strap. So it goes down into the hand like this, this. And as I pull, look, my shoulders meet. This goes and squeeze down into the pocket. Wipe it out. Magic. Thank you all. Now, let's see. Oh, 5 minutes left. I will show you. Oh, somebody asked. I just want to answer a few questions. Somebody said, do you have any of those pins left? Do you have any of those pins left where you pull the ink off? Well, for that young man who asked me, it's not a pen that pulls the ink comes off. It's stuff you buy in a graphic art store. For those of you who saw the close-up, somebody writes their name on a card, and then you peel the signature back off. And it's a lot of fun. I do this I used to just do it as a gag, a funny gag. It's called Letraline. It's by Letraset Company, the people who make rub-on letters for graphic artists. You don't buy them in stationery stores. You got to go to a graphic art supply store, engineer's supply store, where they sell technical pins and rub-on letters. Letraline, 1/16 of an inch thick, black flecks. They have matte and gloss finish. You don't want those. You want the black flecks, because the flexible kind, you can just lay this tape. It's just a roll of tape, and you lay the tape out like that on the card. Now, here's the way I used to do this. It's a lot of fun, just as a gag, because it's surprising how many people here. Let's say that I have a nice person come up and write their name on the 4 diamonds. And I always emphasize, I say, make sure you do it in such a way that the pen never leaves the page, and a long ribbon of ink, blah, 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 and I make sure that they don't dot any I's, they don't cross any T's, I make a big stink about it, I go on for 5 minutes, don't lift the pen off the page, don't do it, and they're saying, what is he, anal retention, what is this guy from? They're wondering why you're doing this, and finally they'll see why you do it, and they put it all together why you're being so weird to begin. So anyway, the person writes their name on the card in script, in cursive. They'll do a top change, like this. Yep. See? You push this card over a little bit, you stick it up under the other card, and you wipe that card up. Top change. So, they've written their name on the card, you do a top change, and you're talking, you blow up and say, oh, this is the way I used to do the gag. I say, I'm sorry, you're going to have to write it a little bit bigger, because so the people in the back can see it. Like that. I always expected to get a big, oh, how did you do that? You pulled the signature off. That was wonderful magic. I don't get that. When I do this for folks in restaurants when I'm working, I say, I do the trick, and then they write their name on the card, and I take their card, and I say, oh, you know what? You wrote your name too big, so I'll just peel it off, and you can write it a little bit bigger. And they always go, all right. That better? Yeah, perfect, thanks. As if there's some sort of ink that you can peel off the page. Of course, if this ever happens, you have two cards with their signature on it, and you have a duplicate of their signature that they made that they didn't know exists. So what you do is you say, excuse me, I'll be right back. You go to the kitchen, give one of the duplicates to the chef, and have him bake a cake around it so that you can do the best card trick in the world. How did my card get in there? And it's fine. So anyway, there's another one. Where's that little punk? That nice young man who helped me earlier. Oh, come on here, James. Let's hear for James. He's going to help me out with the trick. Yay! When you're doing card tricks, here, take the card. Here's one I like to do for kids. I like to do for everybody, but especially kids. Kids don't like card tricks, especially little kids. You're not a little kid, you're a big guy. Because they can't remember abstract symbols for things and all that. So here's a fun card trick. It's easy to do. I would like to use three cards. It's a famous three card trick. Three cards, one at a time from any part of the pack, if you would. James. One from the top. Oh, good choice. One from the bottom. Bottom dealer. Excellent. And the third one. You hold the deck. I'll hold these. This is the famous three card trick. You hold those. I'll hold these. It's done with 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. I'm sorry. They're kind of sticky. I just need 3 for this. Hang on to that. It's the famous three card trick, James. It's done with 1, 2, 3. Well, I could have sworn I gave you one. James, work with me, my friend. Hang on to that. 3 cards are needed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knock it off, James. You're making me look stupid up here. I only need 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now for this, yeah, James, look, hang on to that. It's only done with 3 cards. Does he spell this badly? It's done with 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. I could have sworn I gave you one, James. Let me put it on top to be sure. Give me the pack. There it is, on top of the pack. That leaves me with how many, James? 1, right. Give me one more. Give me one more. It's the famous 3 card trick, which leaves me with, give me another one. Give me another one. Which leaves me, here, you count the cards out loud so everybody can hear in a loud, clear voice, if you would. James, you're not playing along. If I get rid of 1, that leaves me with how many? James. So smart. You can't trust these kids these days. What is this? There's the third one. Okay, it's very simple. What you do, let's just pretend this is the whole pack. I palm off 4 cards in my hand. I give him the pack. I say, give me 3 cards, one at a time from any part of the pack. Right. 1. After you get 2, you add your palm card. 2, 3. So you have 7 cards. He has the whole deck. Don't let him set the deck on the table. It's very important. I'll show you why in a minute. Now I do an Elmsley count. I pull off 1. I push over a block of 5. Just squeeze them over. It's very easy. I steal back the first one that I took as I take the 5. So then on the count of 2, I take 5. I have 2 left, 3, 4. It's a very convincing count of 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you gave me too many. Then you can spread them over. Hang on to that. It's done with 3 cards. Do another Elmsley count. It's becoming crazy. You're tossing cards at him. You still have 4. It's like a 6-card repeat. Hang on to that. 1, 2. Now you get to the point where you really have 4. What I like to do is count 1, 2, 3. See, just by taking 1, pushing over a block of 2 and taking them, and then the third one. Finally, we have the 3 cards and you spread them, and then there's 4, and you do a double take, and you say, you hang on to that. Now you really have 3, and the beautiful part about the Elmsley count is the fact that you can count 7 cards as 4, 6, 5, and 4 cards as 4, but you can also count 3 cards as 4, so you're 1 behind rather than 1 ahead. So you do the Elmsley count. You take 1, you steal it back, 2, 3, 4, but you only have 3. I'll give you another one. You hand him 1, which leaves me with, you have 2, but you snap them like you're only 1. Oh, wait, give me 1 back. Now I have 3. Give me another one. Now I have 4, but he thinks I have 3. So I say, here, you count them. He wants to get his grubby little mix on the cards because he hasn't had a chance to count yet. Right? You take the cards. Look at this. This is nonverbal cueing. He'll put the cards in your hand. That was verbal cueing. He'll put the cards in your hand automatically. You palm off as many as you can hold, and you drop the rest on the table. You say, look, you count them out loud, one at a time, into my hand. 2, 3, 4. And then now you just drop everything on top. It's really easy. Don't worry about technique or material. Whap, whap, whap. If I get rid of one, that leaves how many? And you have half the deck, but you don't present it like this, and you say, and that's right. Seems I have half the deck. Thank you for being such. You gotta make it look like, oh my goodness, there's too many cards. I can't hold them all. A variable tone or closely out cards. You know, drop all over the place. You palm the last 3 as you drop a few more on the table. And while they're applauding and laughing and throwing the babies from the rafters, you reach under his arm and you pull out 1, 2, and if they have the right type of clothes on, you can actually rub this all over their back like this. You say, you're a nice guy. Put this up the back of in your hair, the 3rd card, and let's hear it for James for being such a good sport. What I'd like to show you now, I don't have any time left. By special request, there was a nice gentleman who came up and he said, you know, I've heard so much about Magic Masters. It's a chain of magic stores I work for in Washington. What I'd like to show you now, I don't have any time left. By special request, there was a nice gentleman who came up and he said, you know, I've heard so much about Magic Masters. It's a chain of magic stores I work for in Washington. I'd like to show you now. I don't have any time left. By special request, there was a nice gentleman who came up and he said, you know, I've heard so much about Magic Masters. It's a chain of magic stores I work for in Washington. And the Rocky Raccoon was something that we used to sell, so for him I'm going to do the little raccoon. And I think our friend in the back has some raccoons and some other people. Roy Roth, I'm all out. Very underestimated. You see them around, you see them laying on magic shots in the counters, you just see them laying there, you don't know what they do. You don't know you can have a lot of fun with them. It's the best part of my act when I go to people's houses. So here he is. I can't be held responsible for the death and destruction that can be caused by this period little teacher. So stand back, watch your heart. Here he comes. Rocky, come on. Here he comes. He is the credit. Rocky. Oh, that hurt Rocky. That hurt my foot. Rocky, look at all the nice people there. This is Rocky Raccoon. Pay attention to me when I talk to you, Rocky. Sit up and get. Look at all the nice. Look at the nice people in the front. There's a pretty lady. You like that lady, don't you? Yeah. Oh, he's shy. Get up here. Sit. You want to take her home, don't you? Yes, he's a very... What are you going to do when you take people home? Rocky, he loves to dance. He's a dancing fool. Yes. You don't practice, Rocky. You're very bad. Here's some food. Munchy, munchy, munchy. Munchy, munchy, munchy. He loves this stuff. Look deep into my... You like this, don't you? The act? Deep sleep. What's this? Past life regression? The raccoon thinks he's Tonto, the Indian. Vincent Van Gogh. Oh, excuse me. Vincent Van Gogh, the famous Dutch painter. Stevie Wonder. He doesn't. Davy Crockett. Abe Lincoln, Tom Selleck, Brooke Shields, the Italian opera star, Greg Louganis, the Olympic diver. Ooh, my. It's like kissing a Wookiee on the lips. Rocky! If you haven't figured it out yet, man, it's not a real raccoon. It's a slinky in a fur coat, a bed spring in a blanket. It's very easy to operate. You should pick one up. You put your thumb on top, your fingers underneath. You press down with the thumb, and he looks up. You say, Rocky. Pay attention. Give him some love. Give him some love. Hold on with your finger like a trigger on a squirt gun. He eats out of your hand. Munchy, 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 munchy. Munchy, 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 munchy. 4 fingers making boogie, 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 boogie. Boogie, 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 boogie. Boogie, boogie. You like this, don't you? Boogie, boogie. Would you like to try? Stand up. Always use 4, never use 1. Each one on the airplane, you say, oh, flight attendant, can we have another one of these, please? She'll lock herself in the bathroom at 30,000 feet. Why can he dance like Michael Jackson? It has an instruction book. They all come with it. It teaches you little things like, this is correct. Munchy, 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 munchy. This is incorrect. Munchy, 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 munchy. It's illegal in some countries, I found out. He loves magic. Watch the coin, Rocky. Watch the coin. He's a magic nut. Watch the coin, Rocky. Watch the, oh, I get watch the coin. Watch the coin. Oh, where'd it go? Wait a minute. There we go. Oh, the most fun, this is a true story. I got to get off here. The most fun I ever had. True story, true story, true story. True story. Washington, D.C., about a block away from the White House. Oh, a quick story. White House. I worked at White House last year. Thank you. Hold your applause. It sounds impressive. I was actually one of 57 other performers that were bussed into the back lawn to entertain 50,000 screaming kids during the Easter egg roll. It was quite an honor, let me tell you. They shoved us in like cattle. The performers. They strip searches. They did the metal detectors. We get in there, and we would have crowd control devices around each performer. The kids were coming through like water. I didn't have time to do any magic. I'm pulling money out of their ears. I needed a changer. Ka-chunk, next, ka-chunk, next, ka-chunk. I saw the ugliest clown in the world with this thing. Performers from all over. This guy had no pride in his makeup. Ugly clown, terrible wig, stupid costume, lipstick just smeared on his face. I couldn't believe it until I noticed the little curly Q antenna going up to his ear. He was a Secret Service agent. Do you believe they stooped down low, the White House? Secret Service. And the kids were coming up, make me a balloon. Get back, smack. What's that? He's got a Uzi in his little clown bag, watching for the bushes. Anyway, so walk from the White House, Power Lunch Palace. This place is called the Old Everett Grill. Very, very sophisticated place. I go in there one day with my raccoon, a true story, with some friends. Halfway through the meal, out pops the killer raccoon. He's checking the place out. I'm feeding him from my plate some salad, little lettuce, some croutons. The place gets real quiet. Everybody's watching my table. Well, about that time, the maitre d' comes over, big old guy. Sir, you're not allowed to have a live animal here in this restaurant. No live animals? No problem. Oh, you people are sick. Thank you. David Williamson, ladies and gentlemen. Big hand.